the deal, yo?
D
What's the
Reed,
problem?
big
Salute.
fan Breezy.
What up, OG?
The
What up?
deal. What up, yo? What up? What
What
up?
up, yo?
All right, what's going on? So, y'all got any records for chill before I get into it, or are we all good? We keeping it peaceful today.
I mean, I want to call it
Always
I'm
ruckus,
good.
but
G, man. It's always
I want to call it ruckus. I came to kick up dust, but I want to call it ruckus. So
Hey, let me tell you, and my man right here from Brooklyn, he got some real logic. And I'm a conspiracy theorist, but he got some real logic. He do. Listen to this, Big Ox.
Okay, what's up, big fan? You talking about big fan Breezy, right? Or you talking about D Reed?
Yeah, yeah. I'm talking about Fan Breezy.
Well, I'm gonna tell you where I get this from. I get it from the book called History of the Nets, written by Rick Laughlin, the History of the Nets, right? So, to make it sure, I see the whole panel here, and just so y'all know, man, I'm enjoying the entire show. I've been here from 5 o'clock, man. So shout out to the panel, shout out to Ox, shout out to Big Chill. Now I'm saying, I love the show. But the logic come from this book, and ultimately the Philadelphia 76ers and the Knicks took advantage of the Nets with the merger. I'm summarizing this. They got Dr. J. The Nets had to give Dr. J up because of the merger. It was a 3.2 million entry fee from the ABA to the NBA, and they could not afford it, so they tried to sell Dr. J to the Knicks, and the Knicks said no for 4.8 million. And then the Philadelphia 76ers, no coincidence that we in the same division, right? So ultimately these two teams kind of, I won't say blackballed us, but definitely made it difficult for us. And the karma is what I was saying to Chill the other day, is that had the Philadelphia 76ers got the draft pick in 2018 of Mikal Bridges, 10th pick, they would have continued the process, because Mikal Bridges became everything that Ben Simmons was supposed to be. And on top of that, I feel like the best thing the Nets could do to capitalize off of this situation is have Mikal Bridges make them pay that toll. We're going to dismantle that whole process just for them sending a hometown hero, 2 years NCAA championship, Villanova, Mikal Bridges. His mama worked for the 76ers. Told his mama, don't you know how far it is from Philadelphia to Phoenix? He ain't got no family out there. You know what I'm saying? His cousins and his brothers and everybody had to go out there to see him. You know what I mean? But they don't care. So case in point is Mikal Bridges made it to the finals before Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers. And now he's going to be the reason that they never get there. Not to mention that I think the last, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chill, the last time that the 76ers got to the finals was because of Dr. J. So I'm saying it all.
They won it. Yeah, when they won it in '83.
All right, so coming full circle, it starts and ends with the Nets, and this is where it ends with the Nets, and this is the beginning of the Nets dynasty. I won't say dynasty. I won't take that far, but I would say this is the beginning of the Nets taking over where we would have been. And I was wrong last time I spoke to you, Chill. We wasn't 15-4 versus NBA teams. We were 15-9, but that's still good in the NBA.
Still 6 games over 500, no doubt about that. So
That's a fire theory though. And I did hate the way they did Mikal Bridges. That was wild.
You're talking about, so you figure, you look at, I understand that they had Jimmy Butler. That's because that's which way they went. They had Jimmy Butler at that time. But to have a dude who was basically right in your backyard, who you got for nothing, and to ship him to Phoenix, where they ended up in the NBA Finals 3 years later. 3 years later, they end up in the NBA Finals with that dude who you looking at him, and you let Jimmy Butler walk out the door. If you had Mikal, you could have let Mikal Bridges walk. I mean, you could have let Buckets. If you're gonna let Buckets walk, at least you got Mikal Bridges, right? With Joel Embiid, with Ben Simmons, it would have looked so much different if you did have them. Now, I'm a little on the fence about Brooklyn handling Philadelphia. I can appreciate the conspiracy theory, though. I can definitely get with that. Definitely.
Yeah. Well. So let's talk about tonight's game real quick. We got the Pelicans versus OKC. So let's just let's go around. Let's get some predictions on this one. D Reed, what you got?
before we talk about the actual game, can we talk about Zion for a second?
Let's discuss him.
Feel free.
Let's talk about, let's talk about
Like,
a dude talking in. Let's talk about a dude talking in third person. Yo, Zion gonna get out there when Zion ready.
Hey, and
What you talking about,
not only that, chill, but like if you watch that whole 7-minute interview, he was happy when it was like a minute and 30 seconds where he was talking about BI, CJ, and somebody else, and he was happy. But when he started talking about himself, he seemed so like down. Like he was unsure of himself, his future, like what he got going on. Like he got to talking about God, and God he don't know what God has in store for him, and it just sounded bad. I didn't like how he sounded.
Me neither. I didn't, to be honest with you. And I think we're talking about a dude in Zion where we give him a lot of flack for being out of shape, which I don't think that's the case. I think he's just built that way, right? I just think that he's just a big body dude with supreme athleticism. I don't think that he's out of shape like everybody say he is. Ox want to keep him away from the food truck because Ox think that he gonna go crazy on that, right? Yeah. I just think that he's a big body dude who is heavy. His extremities, his lower extremities are heavy, and because he's heavy down low, I think that that's where the injuries come from more than anything. When you carrying that kind of weight around, and when you hopping the way he does, so I think that's gonna be the problem. However, the logic that I'm gonna get out there when I feel like me. Well, how you gonna feel like you until you get out there? You're not gonna find out.
That sound like Ben Simmons,
right? You're not gonna find out until you get out there. How am I gonna know that I'm me until I get out there? So I can't wait to get out there and then wait for me to turn into myself. The only way I'm gonna turn into myself is get out there and get going. That's the way I can turn back into myself. Because you're not you right now. So yeah, I'm not really feeling that logic.
He too big for his frame, man. He too athletic for his frame. That's as simple as I could put it. Like 270, 260, whatever he is, like jumping 60 plus times a game, like that. Yeah. And he already got trouble walking straight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just all the problems he came into the NBA with. Like,
I just think that if we could get, and I mentioned this in the past, I don't think he's gonna hold up for 10 years. I'll be lying to you if I said I thought he would. I don't think he's gonna hold up for 10 years. If I could get 4 or 5 60-game seasons out of him, I'm straight. Because he's going to be box office. Plus the playoffs, he's going to be box office. No doubt about that. If I could get that from him. Because I don't think I'm going to get him 29, 30 years old. I don't think he's going to hold up that long. I don't think he's going to be around that long.
It's too much weight coming down on his knees and ankles.
Yep.
And another problem I think he going through right now is this season he came into the season in shape and still got injured.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't it was a lower extremity body injury, like you said, like it was legs. And he came in the off season, he was in shape from everything. It looked like even when he was playing, he looked smaller, he looked more in shape, and he still got injured. So it's like
I just think he built that way. I think that I don't think it has anything to do with him being in shape. I just think that the way he's put together, I think that that's more of the problem anyway. But I will tell you this, Big Ox. I like New Orleans in this game tonight, and the reason why I like New Orleans in this game is for one reason and one reason only. Herb Jones against Shea. Nobody has covered Shea better this season and slowed him down more this season than Herb Jones. Nobody.
Herb Jones is a hell of a defender.
Yes, he is. I'm a big Herb Jones guy. Big Herb. I've said this in the past. He give me Bruce Bowen vibes. I think he'll start on the championship team at some point.
That's a good take. Yo, Rob, you there?
Yeah. What's good?
Yeah. How you feel about tonight? What you got some predictions for the Thunder Pelicans game?
To be honest, I got the Pelicans because they have more experience in the playoffs, and they also they have a better defense as well.
Yeah, better defense. I can get with that. I can
Hey,
definitely.
Chill, do you Chill and Ox, do y'all agree with the narrative that there's no defense being played in the NBA? Because I can name 10 perimeter defenders that you know what I'm saying that can change the outcome of any game.
I don't.
I think it's I think the amount of defense being played has dropped, but not because of the ability of the players today. I think it's more so because defense isn't as valued as it was before. They would rather just try to outscore you. On top of that, they changed the rules to make it where, you know, with defense, it's hard for me to stay in front of a guy if I can't even touch him. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can't, you know, so. It's harder. Plus, I just think the kids nowadays, it's not as cool. You know, you're not gonna be on a highlight reel for, you know, playing great defense. So I do think there's a lot less defense being played personally.
I do think that defense is being played though. I watch Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart defends. I watch Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday defends. Like I just said, Herb Jones defends. Mikal Bridges defends. Jaren Jackson defends in the post. Anthony Davis rim protects. Rudy
Dylan
rim
Brooks.
protects. Right.
Like it's the list of players. Dylan Brooks,
These dudes. Now it might not be. You got to be smarter because you can't put hands on guys like you were able to do 25, 30 years ago. And it's not as physical. But these guys are defending as to the best of their ability. I would like to see these dudes defend more. I would like to see that. And the reason why I want to see that is because as an offensive player, if you can't put hands on me, my life is not that difficult.
Right.
My life is actually pretty easy when you can't put hands on me. But I would like to see if we could get more physical, because now what that does is, as an offensive player, now you really have not necessarily go into your bag, but as an offensive player, you got to convert. So if you're more of a physical guy and you play like that, then you got to play through contact. And I've always been a fan. I've always been a fan of guys like that. Always.
Defense is bad for capitalism.
All right, so let me ask you another question off of that. So, do you feel that it was harder to play defense back then or now? Because, like you said, the physicality and everything back in the day, but physicality don't necessarily mean good defense. You know what I'm saying? You could be physical and foul somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
now here's the difference. Here's the difference with that. You could be physical and foul somebody, but that's a psychological edge, because if I come down the lane and Big Ox knocks me to the floor, well, I might think twice about coming in here again, right? And that might affect my game, as opposed to if I'm on the wing and I don't have to worry about you putting hands on me, or I don't have to worry about you getting close to me, which is why you see guys like James Harden, whenever he goes to the basket and he gets touched, the first thing he's doing is looking at the officials. These guys aren't looking to finish plays. They're looking at the officials simply because, wait a minute, that's not the way the game is played today. The game, I don't have to play through contact. I had to play through contact 25, 30 years ago, which means that I got to finish plays. I'm not looking at the officials. Now, do I think it's simpler? Do I think it's simpler to play defense today than it was back then? I'm not going to say simpler more than I think it's just I do think you have to be smart. It's just different. And I do think you have to be smarter as a defender. I don't think it's simpler, but I do think you have to be smarter as a defender.
Yeah, just like I said, it's different. Like, that's not the game today. Today will, like, it's not the same game. So
right.
You could put 5 legit shooters on the court today. And that'll change the whole dynamic of defense. Like, it's only so much you can do on the defensive end when you got 5 legit shooters on the court.
Right.
So.
Well, back then, when you could put hands on a guy, so Big Ox is on the box, and I could rough Big Ox up. Like, it's not just a touch. No, I can get physical with him, and Big Ox has to give that back to me, as opposed to now I gotta be careful on how I cover him. I gotta be more cerebral, and that's kind of different when you're a big guy, when you want to be physical with another big guy. So back then, I think it was a little bit more difficult to do that.
As far as the game, I think the Pels gonna take it though. I got the Pelicans winning, man.
All right.
I got the
Pels. You got the Pels. Chill. You got the Pels too, right?
I do.
Rob said you got the Pels. Breezy, who did you say?
Nah. Tonight you said the Pels or who?
Pels in the Thunder.
OKC.
Uh-huh.
I got the Thunder. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
All right.
I like Shea, man.
What you like about them?
I like Shea, and I like his relentlessness, and I like the fact that they're a young team and they run. And when I check the stats for what it matter, the better teams last season, they were scoring a lot of points in transition, like fast breaks. And I think that's what stands out with young teams like OKC. You know, they can run. You know what I mean? So there's going to be, like you said, sometimes you need to just go get a bucket. You can't draw up a play for everything.
Right.
Sometimes you just need to, you know what I'm saying, have your guys go out there and put in more effort and play harder than the other team. Yep. And I see that in OKC over the Pels, and that's just because I feel like the Pels is banged up. But they're a good team too. But I think Thunder win tonight.
Yeah, y'all get in the chat. Y'all let us know who's winning tonight.
Yeah. No doubt.
Let us know.
No doubt.
So we talk. That's that side. What about Toronto and Chicago? What y'all three? What y'all think?
I think
Chill.
Toronto
We
come
didn't.
to
Did we get to Toronto? We did,
Yeah, we
right? We
did.
got you already. Thought so. Yeah. What you got? Rob, who you think's gonna pull it out in the East?
I'm like, this one's tough. I think I'm gonna go with Toronto because I'm a fan of Scotty Barnes, and their defense of length is like great. So I'm gonna go with them.
I got Toronto too. I think it'd just prove one of my theories of the Atlantic Division being one of the toughest division, and every team in this division goes to the playoffs. So I'm gonna stick with that, and then that would be true if Toronto makes it with the win tonight. So I'm gonna say Toronto Raptors win this.
D Reed.
I'm gonna say Toronto too. I feel like on paper Toronto got the roster to beat a lot of teams just off the size and wing depth that they got. Like I feel like they match up well with the Celtics. I feel like they match up well with the Bucks. Yeah, I got Toronto.
Okay. All right, fellas. Well, appreciate y'all for coming up, man. Thank y'all. Y'all stay in the chat though. Stay tapped in. The show ain't over yet.
Yes, sir.
Got a good vibe going today. I'm feeling it. No doubt about it. I'm definitely feeling it.